But he is a lot of things. He's an author, he's a motivational speaker, he's a musician, and he actually founded a nonprofit called, is it Reroute or Reroute? Reroute. Yeah. So he has a special performance and talk for us today. He's going to tell us a little bit about his background, where he came from. It's got a very interesting story, and also he's going to jam for us. So get ready. Here we go. Thank you for coming. SaulPaul.
Yeah. Thank you, man. All right. Y'all ready to have some fun for the next 15, 20 minutes? All right, that's what's up. So my name is SaulPaul, S-A-U-L-P-A-U-L, SaulPaul, not Sean Paul. That's a Jamaican dude, not South Park, that's a cartoon, not Sao Paulo, but SaulPaul, cool. And I'm a rapper, that's what I do. I also play this guitar. Oh, telling you. No bueno, but I have to use it. Okay, I have to use it. I like handheld mics. All right. I know it's terrible, right? All right. So, I don't know. I'm gonna start off with a song. I'm gonna start off with yeah. Can I get your help on this one, Kate? All right, cool. So check this out. We're gonna make a song together. It'll be cool. So I need a couple volunteers. You don't have to come up, and you don't have to dance. You just have to give me a word. So like, so you're the closest to me. I'm gonna start with you. Like any word. Apple. I love it. The first thing that popped in my head was fruit. What's the first thing that popped in your head?
Yeah, competitor.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why did everybody laugh? I was like, oh, that's why. Okay, I get it. Okay, how about you, ma'am? Because I like pink. Wednesday. Okay, wow. It's Google. I expected more creativity. All right. This is so crazy. Every time I see y'all eating salad, I think you're eating Fruit Loops. Like, I don't know why. It might be the chairs. I don't know what it is, but because if it was me, I'd be eating Fruit Loops. Okay, who else? How about you, ma'am? Sky. All right. How about this? Somebody give me like a big word, like a word that Kate probably can't even spell right without spell check. Wow. She did that with swag. Like really? Like really? Okay. How about
Oh, so he said it wrong. That's not my fault.
How about you, sir?
I'm just the
Taco from the beginning. All right. Taco. All right. Let me see. Who else? Who wants to volunteer a word? Salad? All right.
Need a verb?
I know, like, no more lunch shows. You said, do I need a verb? Yeah, like Mad Libs? Like, okay. Who else? How about you, sir? Sprint. Like the phone company or like jogging? Okay, running. Okay, we got Sprint. All right. How about you, ma'am? Just know, if you look uncomfortable, I'm probably picking you next. So, so. Happy. All right, that's a good word. And the biggest word, I need like what's the biggest word anybody can think of? Like multi-syllabic, it is like just the biggest word anybody can think of. What'd you say? Yeah. And what did you say? Wow. Kate is the woman. Like she like. I love it. Okay. All right. So check it out. This is kind of connected to the story I'm gonna tell you. Right. I'm gonna tell you a story about how I graduated from the prestigious University of Texas at Austin with a 4.0. But it was after I was locked up in the Texas State Penitentiary, convicted of 4 felonies. Right. So that's why I do what I do. I recognize I have a unique story, and I believe I have a special purpose, and I just have to do it, and I do it through my music. And so I'll share a story about that. But something I figured out in life is that you don't get to pick your circumstances. It is what it is, right? So you just don't get to pick your circumstances. Kind of like when you're at work sometimes. You get a project, it's not fair, but they're like, hey, here's the deadline, make it happen. You just got to do what you got to do. It's like all throughout life. This is what I figured out. So kind of with this song, I didn't get to pick these words, but I'm going to make up a song, and I'm going to incorporate all these words into my song. All right, so we're going to do this together, right? I did this one time. I did it on America's Got Talent. It was pretty cool. They invited me out. I did the deal. Like Mariah Carey's husband. You know who that is? Nick Cannon, right? All right. Nick Cannon was there. He was like, but I don't have Nick Cannon today. Today I have the lovely Kate. All right. So when I was on America's Got Talent, I had these big poster boards, right? And so like I would get a word from the judges, I get a word from the crowd, and then they would write it, and then I did what I did. So today we put it on the screen. We got it up there. 2 things I need you to do. Let me see. We're gonna make up some music. Let me put this together. Right? You can't have a song without music. So the first thing I'm gonna do is create some music. We have any other musicians in the building? No? Okay. I'm sure we do, but yeah. All right, check this out. Let's see. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. Can y'all still hear me? All right, so now we got some music, right? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Okay, so now we need to put together the hook, right? This is communal music, so we get to do it together. N-O-W, what's that spell? Wow, that was weak. That was so weak it sounded more like meow. It was what was that? Like, what led to that? Like, but you all did it in unison. Like, is that how you talk in meetings and whispers like that? That was crazy. That was crazy. All right, so don't let the guitar fool you. This is hip hop, right? So you have to bring like a little bit more energy, a little bit more oomph to it. So N-O-W, what's that spell? Now. There we go. Okay, every time I point to you, you say. Now. All right, perfect. This is how the hook to the song goes. If your mind's right, then you shine right. Now. You tight right. Now. You bright right. Now. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right. Now. To be honest, due to the lack of melanin in the room, I didn't really know about that last part. I was like, man, this could get chaotic, but y'all were on point. So give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. All right. All right, so here we go. So now we got the hook, right? So I'm going to play the music. We'll do the hook together, right? And then I'm going to make up a song, a freestyle, right? Improvisationally make up a song on the spot using these words. Every time I use one of these words, this is what I need you to do. I need you to chunk the deuce. Anybody from Houston? I love it, I love it, I love it. I had a rag. What happened to my towel? There's a towel. Hey, snow. Okay. It's all good. I was looking for this. There was a white towel. Anybody seen a white towel?
Right here.
All right, perfect. Thank you, ma'am. I get excited when I perform, and then I perspire. I love it. All right, so check it out. I'm from Houston. In Houston, we have this thing called chunking the deuce. My motto is no audience member left behind. So even if you don't know how to chunk the deuce, I got you. I'll teach you. This is my deuce chunking tutorial. Everybody put your peace sign up. All right, now turn your hand backwards facing you. You're going to love this. If you like math like me. Bend your wrist 90 degrees. Go back where you started. Repeat. That's how you chunk the deuce. All right. As soon as you leave, get back on the elevator, go back to your, back to your spot. Just chunk a deuce. They'll know what's up. Shout out to my people from the H that already knew what was up. All right. You can personalize it. You can go high with it. You can go low, like it's a silent auction. You can do 2 at the same time, synchronize, however you want to do it. This is just what I need you to do because me and Kate, we over here working, right? We're doing what we do. Every time I use one of these words, you chunk the deuce, that lets Kate know, like, oh, snap. He must have used one of the words, and then she deletes it, right? So if I'm rapping and I say sky, what do you do? Oh, I like how she does it. She like, yeah. Like, waiter over here, yeah. I like that. Swag, I love it. If I'm rapping and I say apple, what do you do? Okay. Wednesday. What else we got? Taco, not to be confused with taco salad, but taco and salad. We got sprint, happy, anti-disestablishmentarianism. Wow. And then that other word. All right, so here we go. We're about to put this together. And you remember your part to the hook, right? All right, cool. Let me secure my guitar right now. All right, let's work. If your mind right, then you shine right. You tight right. You bright right. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right now. One more time. If your mind right, then you shine right. You tight right. You bright right. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right now. I speak in slang, they usually say what him say. I don't know, but Dub's up, yes, it's Wednesday. I'm at Google, and I ain't eating apples. If it's competition, then Google defeating Apple. Man, that's when y'all should have clapped, but I don't know what's up right now. Y'all just like, what's up with that? Okay. Regardless, I'ma eat the beat like tacos. Got a lot of bravo. I feel I'm macho. I go hard. Yeah, I'm about to sky up. I'm going in every time. Yes, I'm up. An entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship. First word he said, it wasn't a word. I'm booing it. I'm moving it. I'm eating salad. I'm trying to stay fit. Keep my balance. I used to go running, catch me all on the lake. I'm going hard, walking by faith, opposite of faith. Hey, if your mind right, then you shine right. You tight right. You bright right. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right now. One more time. Hey, if your mind right, then you shine right. You tight right. You bright right. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right now. I feel I'm fresh about the mint. I got a different type of phone, it's not Sprint. I keep it moving, they say that I'm local, but check out my calendar, homie, I'm global. I care less, they on they T-Mobile. I'm trying to connect the dots like AT&T, I'm loco. That's what that is, local, yeah, that mean crazy. I'm gonna get it in, cause your boy is not lazy. I'm taking words, I take them, I flip them, I get them, I twist them. Say, I'm not missing. This last word, a long one. How I'm gonna fit in anti-disestablishmentarianism. Hey, but still I had to do that. H-Town, we chunking deuces. That's where they both screw at. I do that. Yeah, I'm the throw this. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Whoop. Hold up. One more time. I like the hook. Let's just do it one time. Hey, if your mind right, then you shine right. You tight right. You bright right. Hey, if your mind right, it go down right now. Check it out. All right. So today I didn't really come to perform, even though I'm gonna do a couple more songs. Today I just came to talk a little bit, right? Share my story. So we'll consider that the icebreaker. So now that the ice is broken, I can tell you this story. I'll tell you a little bit about my story, but I also just want to tell you about like this movement that I'm proud to be a part of, and in part to be like killing the flame on so that we can get it to burn, and ultimately it's to change the world. I've always been a big dreamer. That's just what I was. Even though I grew up in a bad environment, like I already told you, I'm from Houston, right? I grew up in the ghetto. My mom died when I was 3 years old. My dad, he ran off and left. I've never met him in my life, but I had an awesome grandmother. My grandmother, she adopted me. She took me. She raised me as her own. Everybody else called her grandmother. They called her Big Mama. I just called her Mama. She was awesome. The problem was she was old and I was young. She was slow and I was fast. She was soft-hearted and I was hard-headed. Right? So I grew up in this environment, like I said, one of the worst ghettos. I make it look good. Now, I think it's hard for people to really get it because, you know, I look so good and whatnot. But, like, I really, really grew up, like, in the bottom, in the trap. They made a movie about my life. It's called Tower to Tower. If you go to my website, SaulPaul.com, you can see it, right? It's, like, been viewed I don't know how many times. It's a big deal. It's cool but it's my story. It goes more in depth. But again, I grew up on the north side of Houston in the ghetto. My grandmother adopted me. She raised me. She did the best, but I still made the worst choices. And it was interesting to me because I was always in this paradox, right? Like I'm in the ghetto, like I'm in the ghetto, but I'm in like the AP courses at school. I'm in gifted and talented classes and whatnot, right? And so I was always in two worlds. It helps me now because like I'm cross-cultural, right? I have this cultural competency because I know how to deal with people here and deal with people there, but I was still filling it out when I was younger. So like I would be in class, my AP and my gifted and talented courses when I was in school, but then when I would get out of class and I'd be around my friends on the block. And when I was around my friends on the block, like I just kept my life separate. One time they collided, right? My grandmother, even though I grew up poor, she always spoiled me. I would always have like the latest video games, the latest sneakers. So my friends would come to my house to play video games. When they come to my crib one time, my grandmother was so proud of me, she would put my report card on the wall, right? So my friends come to the house to play my video games, and then they would see my report card. And then they would say stuff like, this fool's stupid. He made all A's. Right? That doesn't even make sense. Like, half of y'all don't even compute. Like, I don't understand. But it was like because it was a culture clash, right? I was making good grades. That wasn't cool to them. So that's why I kept it hidden. But it was interesting because, again, my culture, society was teaching me something. Because I'm in my, when I was 16 years old, I got arrested, right? I got arrested in my high school. I went to a big 5A high school, 2,000, 2,500 students. I get arrested. I go to jail. I come back. When I come back, in my ghetto, in my hood, right? Like, do y'all think people made fun of me because I got arrested, or they showed me love? That's very unique right there, right? It's something that I can look back, hindsight 2020, and I see like this contrast. Like, that's weird. Like, I made good grades and people made fun of me. I got arrested and I was like the hood hero. And I was just a kid like everybody else. I just wanted to be accepted. So instead of focusing on making good grades, I focused on being bad. I actually became the best at being the worst. Right? This is what life was already teaching me. And it's interesting because you might say, okay, well, I was 16 years old and I got arrested. When I get arrested, like, example, maybe you can't relate, but I bet you still know the answer to this question. Why do people sell drugs? To make money. It's that simple, right? It doesn't matter if they're like, well, I want to buy my baby diapers or I just want to get a new necklace. The goal is they just want to make money, right? So I figured this out. I was always a to Z thinker. The problem was I wasn't worried about the steps in between. So I'm like, well, people sell drugs because they want to make money. So if you asked, well, SaulPaul, then like, why did you get arrested? And it was because I made money, right? I got arrested by the FBI at that. 16 years old, I get arrested by the FBI. But it's because I was making money. But you said, but that's not illegal. I mean, it is if you like make money. Okay, all right. I can't speak on it too much, but yeah, I used to make money. But that's a federal offense, and that's why I got arrested, right? It's funny because, again, hindsight, I look back, and it was like, man, I remember one time somebody called me a criminal genius, one of my mentors. He was like, man, you like think different, dude. It's like, I don't know. I just think how I think. But that's why I'm so passionate about mentorship. I really didn't have anybody to mentor me. There are no excuses. My grandmother showed me unconditional love. People always try to communicate and tell me the best. But again, that's why I'm passionate about what I do, because I recognize just because you tell somebody the right thing, if you're not speaking their language, it doesn't really matter. And so a lot of people were telling me the right stuff, but they weren't speaking my language. And that's cool, right? Like I travel internationally, and I recognize sometimes if you're talking to somebody and they don't speak your language, then you just get a translator. It's not even on you to learn a new language. I can go to a new country and not speak the language, I just get a translator. That's why I've created a mentorship program, because I know the translators, the people that speak the language, because my heart goes out to these youth that were like me. But at this point, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a translator. I wouldn't listen to anybody that was telling me anything. I became the best at being the worst. When I was 17 years old, my grandmother passed away. Now I feel like it's me against the world. I feel like it's only me, right? So my mom died, my dad left, I'm in the ghetto. The one person that loved me passed away. My grandmother now is just like, it's just me. And so I'm going against the grain. I still graduated high school, top of my class, and got an academic scholarship. Right? So I get an academic scholarship. That was the first time I came to UT. And you got to imagine, like a little black boy from the ghetto gets an academic scholarship and gets to go to UT. And it was like, I felt like Scarface. It was like, king of the world, baby. Then they did something like super crazy, stupid. They like gave me all my scholarship money like in this one big check. and said, here, this is yours. I thought I was rich. Like, wow. I went and cashed it. I was waiting for somebody to try to come arrest me. They never did. And it was like, wow. And then I went shopping. And then like 2 months later, like I got like bills in the mail from like the dormitory, like, where's your rent? Like, oh, that's what that money was for. I didn't know. In addition, right, but that's key. I talk about it now, but really it was like a lack of life skills. I recognized like I had all this potential, but I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have life skills. So the program that I've created, Reroute, that's what we deal with. We deal with like youth in general, not even the ones that have potential, because the truth is everybody has potential. That's just the truth. Everybody has potential, but they have to figure out what it is, where theirs is, how to tap it, and how to polish it. I didn't. I was just barreling ahead. Long story short, it took 3 semesters, right? Like I made it all the way to college, made it all the way to UT on an academic scholarship and never studied in my life. Some of you probably can relate to that, right? Because we're all gifted, right? LeBron, we're all gifted in different areas. LeBron James, anybody know what college he went to? He didn't go to college because he's that gifted. But he polished the gift, you know what I mean? He had been playing basketball like 12, 13 years by the time he was 18, right? So it's like you can be gifted. I'm sure many of you are gifted, right? That's why you get to work here. That's why you get to work at a great organization. That's why people that are great and do what they do, I know a lot of great people. I get to meet the most fascinating people. And it's so funny because I realize that they're gifted. And they're gifted in their area, and they do what they do, whether that's business, whether that's finance, whether that's sports, whether that's art, whether that's music, right? But me, I didn't realize it. I just got all the way to college, and I was like, why should I study now? I made it this far. That doesn't make sense. I guess they got to study, not me. But, yeah, that didn't work. It took 3 semesters before I flunked out of school. I lost my academic scholarship. I got put on scholastic probation. I was a victim to myself, really, a victim to pride. I was a victim to everybody knew me as being the dude who always had like the latest sneakers, right? Like I had the biggest necklaces, I had the nicest cars, I did this and did that, and I was living irresponsibly. So now it's like I have to keep up this facade, but now I don't have any more scholarship money to spend on it. So I resorted to what I knew. So I went back to hustling, right? So I go back to hustling, and I was doing all the stuff that I was doing. I got convicted of 3 more felonies. Add that to the one I already had. That made 4, and they sent me to the Texas State Penitentiary. So now I get kicked out of UT, and I end up at the Texas Department of Corrections, TDC, TDCJ, right? So I'm sitting in prison, and it's crazy if, to just go from the opulence that they had at UT to just being a number in prison, 758-371, right? They no longer call me by my name. They just call me 758-371. And I'm sitting in prison, and for me, that was an eye-opening moment. Because at that moment, I realized that it wasn't my circumstances, but it was my choices. It wasn't because I was black. It wasn't because I grew up in the ghetto. It wasn't my mom died, my dad left. It wasn't the system. Y'all ever heard of the man? Right? People say, it's the man. Like, apparently there's some dude out there called a man. And if I ever run into him, I'm going to come up because he owed me something. But that's not why I was locked up. I was locked up because I made bad choices. But that was empowering because I realized if you make bad choices and you get bad results, if you make better choices, you get better results. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to do a song. I'll pause. I'll do a song, and then I'll finish telling you how the story goes, right? But this is what I realized when I was incarcerated. I realized that, like my mama, my grandmother that raised me, she had a vision for my life. And that unconditional love that she had shown me, it laid a foundation for me, right? And really, she just wanted me to be successful. I think that's why she just showed me that, like I understand the power of love. All right. So I recently debuted this song in New York City just a few weeks ago, right, for Mother's Day. I did this event in partnership with the UN Foundation and Johnson & Johnson, because they had this event. It was called Moms Plus Social Good, where they honored moms. I believe teachers and moms are some of the most unsung heroes in the world. They do the most, right? And they get the least. But I wrote this song. Check it out. It said, Mama, Mama, I'ma be everything you saw in me. Yeah, true, you were gone. Don't get it confused. This is not a sad song. I've been shining oh so bright, simply because you raised me right. Yeah, and you gave me so much game. I'ma make sure the whole world say your name. Pearlie. A column is Collins, may she rest in peace. See, she be why I be me. Mama raised a monster, left the world with a beast. Ay, no mama, no daddy, no bro, no sis. I grew up an only child, man, just me and this chick. Some call her Big Mama, some call her Miss. I call her the only reason I could have all this. She gave me the game when she laid the foundation. Now I done took that thing, man, and founded a nation. She told me never follow, be a leader. She's why I know Christ, why I'm a believer. People say, SaulPaul, what's your secret? I just laced you, let those that have ears peep it. See, it could not be made no plainer. I put that on what I love with no disclaimer. Pearlie. A column is Collins, may she rest in peace. See, she be why I be me. Mama raised a monster, left the world with a beast. Mama, I'ma be everything you saw in me. Yeah, true, you were gone. Don't get it confused, this is not a sad song. I've been shining oh so bright, simply cause you raised me right. Yeah, and you gave me so much game. I'ma make sure the whole world sing your name. Pearlie. A column is Collins, may she rest in peace. See, she be why I be me. Mama raised a monster, left the world with a beast. Ay, I grew up poor, and I ain't even know it. Cause when we let go, she ain't even show it. She kept me focused, head in them textbooks. Now I'm living good. Look how them checks look. She taught me about love. She taught me about life. Showed me what was wrong and taught me what was right. Then she let me live my life. But I made mistakes. She still showed me love, so I guess she taught me grace. She taught me about faith and family. And home should be your place of peace even in a calamity. She told me straight, this world is insanity. But once I make it out the hood, oh, what a man I'll be. Well, I made it, mama, but you can see me now. I got the world watching cause I'm straight gleaming now. I did good, it's cause she did better. This is not a song, it's a love letter. Mama, I'ma be everything you saw in me. Yeah, true, you were gone. Don't get it confused, this is not a sad song. I've been shining oh so bright, simply cause you raised me right. Yeah, and you gave me so much game. I'ma make sure the whole world say your name. Pearlie. A column is Collins, may she rest in peace. See, she be why I be me. Mama raised a monster, left the world with a beast. All right. So the way that the story ends, right, so I can move on, do another song in a second. What ended up happening was I was in prison, and I realized, again, like I said, it was my choices, not my circumstances. That empowered me. When I was in prison, I started dreaming big, and that's what changed the game to, like, this moment now. Because like I said in the song, right, like, that's not a sad song. Like, my grandmother, she laid a foundation. She put a lot into me. She lived her life as a sacrifice for me, and because of that, I'm doing pretty good right now. I had 4 felonies. I had 10 years, and I was in the Texas State Penitentiary. In Texas, when you get 10 years, you know how long you do? 10 years. I was there for like 2. That's a modern day miracle. Right? I get out of prison, I'm on parole. I get out of the Texas State Penitentiary on parole, and I get readmitted to the prestigious University of Texas at Austin. Not only when I get back into the University of Texas at Austin, this time around, I'm not taking it for granted, so I'm actually doing my work. That's why I ended up doing better when I graduated, but deeper still, I figured out something. And I figured out that I was born on purpose with the purpose. And I quit taking life light. I quit taking it for granted. And it was like, okay, cool, so what's my purpose? And I realized, like, I want to touch people, and I want to do it through media. I want to do it through movies. I want to do it through mobile gaming apps. I want to do it through music. I want to do it through live presentations. I want to put together creative productions and touch people and inspire people, right? That's what I decided I wanted to do. And at this point, y'all probably don't know it. Some of y'all might. I don't know how old you are. But there's this network. It's called MTV. Back in the day, they used to show music videos. Like, not anymore. But they used to show music videos, and right, so I used to just watch all these music videos, and it was like, man, I just want to make music videos. But I was like, well, you can't go to college for that. Little did I know, and I was talking to my academic advisor, and he was like, man, a music video is just like a mini movie. You should like get into the film school. And I was like, that's what I want to do. He was like, yeah, but the film school is like one of the best in the country. Like, You sure that's what you want to do? And I set my sight on that, and I got accepted to the film school at UT, right? One of the best in the country. Long story short, I graduated from the film school with a 4.0, right? So I go from 4 felonies to a 4.0. And at this point, when I graduated, my first project was called Tower to Tower, right? Because I was at the UT Tower. I remember it was May 17th. I'm sitting at the tower. I got on my cap and gown. I got a few relatives, a few family members, a few people from the block. You know what I'm saying? It was like amazing to see the love and feel the support. Like they all came from Houston. They're in the big crowd. They're sitting there. I got on the cap and gown, and like I'm waiting for them to. I'm sitting there and they're doing the speech. I'm waiting for them to call my name and all that good stuff. And I'm sitting there, and it's like I don't know 5, 6, and we're at the tower, right? And the sun's set, and I'm sitting at the tower, and I'm looking at the tower. And it clicks like, wow, I went from tower to tower. Because, you know, in prison, they have the watch guard tower, right? That's like where the dude has the rifle, and they're like waiting for somebody to run so they can shoot. Because I used to be sitting in my penitentiary cell, looking through the plexiglass window past the barbed wire, and I would see that tower. And I would dream about when I get out. And here I was at UT about to graduate, right? Moments from graduation, and I see the UT tower, and it was like, wow, I went from tower to tower. And see that right there, that was kind of like when, like that's when they create, even in the song I say, Mama raised a monster and left the world with a beast. That's when I realized, like, oh, they got a problem. Like, wow, like it's okay to dream, right? A lot of people don't dream. I'm going to assume you are dreamers, right? Because Google is like, I mean, it's like this awesome company that does great things and it's profound things. And I run a company myself. And so I recognize that there's a culture. And we created a culture in my company, right? And so I'm assuming that there's an awesome culture here as well. And I know that many times, though, the culture in life, like in general, doesn't promote dreaming. It doesn't promote dreaming big, thinking big, having a huge vision. At that point, though, that's when something clicks, because it was like, wow, I was in the penitentiary, and I dreamed about going back to college. And when I told people in prison, like, dude, this is for the birds, you know what I'm saying? I'm never coming back here. They literally laughed at me. Like, that was crazy. That's a whole different speech for a different audience, right? I just, like this is the word, this is Google, right? I have a lot of respect for you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but it's crazy because just yesterday I was at an elementary school. Crowd was a lot more crunk. And it was bigger. But no, it's all good. I like you still. No, but when I'm not at elementary school or a high school, right? Like I told you when I was in New York, I was at this other event. Or like I'm in a penitentiary. I'm in a juvenile detention center one day. I'm in a penitentiary the next, because I don't see people as these demographics and different types. It's like just people. And I know because it was me, right? So like I can be here, I'm a person. But I was also in the penitentiary. And when I was in the penitentiary, I was the same person. I was just like living out my choices. But when I'm talking to somebody in prison, it's crazy because I'm trying to get them to dream. Because like when I was in prison, I told people like, man, I'm going to get out and I'm going to go to college and I'm going to graduate. And they straight up laughed at me. Like, man, they would literally call people over. Like, hey, come over here, check this out. Say, tell him what you told us. Like literally, it was crazy. Like, bro, like I'm never coming back to prison. And they were like, that's crazy, man. How you going to say what you going to do? I remember them clearly saying that, and that hurt me, not that they didn't believe, but where their mind was. Like, wow, you're such a victim of life. That, like, you really don't feel like you have control of what your life will be. They're like, you can't say whether or not you're going to come back to prison. You can't say what you're going to do, but you can say what you're going to do. You can dream. You can speak it, and then you can put in the work to make it happen. And I love it because I keep doing it. But that's not a prison mentality. Sadly, that's a human mentality. There's so many people that feel trapped, right? People go to prison, people feel trapped. And so my goal is to unleash people, to release people, to maybe touch something inside and say, man, if it's me, because it's not about just me. It's like, cool, so I'll tell you my story, but I'm a case study. I'm just a walking, talking case study. Like, look at me. I had no help, no resources, no support, but it's not because look at me. It's more like, I mean, if I did it, why not you? I remember during Christmas break or even summer break, right? Like everybody else would get excited, like, man, we get to go home, we get to go do this. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to stay because the dorm closes. And then they don't open up for like 3 weeks. And I don't have a home to go to. But anyway, so where I'm at now, when I graduated, I started working at a television station, the ABC affiliate here in Austin, right? or in Austin, Texas. And so I started working at that television station. I worked there for a year. It was cool, but that's when I started dreaming like, man, I want to create a company. I want to build a company. I want to make music. I want to make movies. I want to make video games. I want to make a difference. And so I worked there for a year, and then I resigned. Then I started my company, Reroute Productions. At the same time, I started the nonprofit, Reroute, right? And it's interesting because, you know, like when you work with wires, anything technical, right? Like you reroute the wires. Like it might not be working, so you reroute it. That's where it came from. But at the same time, when it came to the outreach, it was more about like rerouting lives. Because there were so many people that felt like there were so many people that were lost, and it was like, it goes back to what I talked about in the beginning, just having the right translators. I realized, cool, I'm a translator, but there's so many. So what I do is I work with, I do a lot of consulting now for like large brands and companies, when people that have like corporate responsibility divisions and arms and they want to reach people, and I help them do it better. I'm that translator, and I bring in other people that are translators and help them create systems and organizations that create the most. We did this very, very cool event during South by Southwest. I'm sure y'all probably familiar with the Spotify House, right? Like Greenhouse, 6th Street, you know what I'm saying? South by, it's the place to be. For the first year, they did like this outreach to the community, you know what I'm saying? And so like I was a part of that, and it was awesome. It was great, and we got to impact some students that were there in Austin for the event. That's just one example. Okay, I'm gonna do another song. I have this new project. It's called Dreaming 3D. This is the song from that project. It's called Rise. This is what I want to inspire people to do. Let me see. And so, right, like I have a book. Let me see. I have a book. The book is called Dreaming 3D. Right. I have a mobile gaming app. The mobile gaming app is called SaulPaul, Dreaming 3D. And it's cool because you can play it on your Google device. You can. Anybody ever play Temple Run? Yeah? It's like an endless runner. All right. So the mobile gaming app is kind of like Temple Run, except it's in the hood. And so like if you hear any of these songs, you're like, oh, that music's sweet, right? You can go download it, you know what I'm saying, Google Play Store and other places. I don't even know why that was funny. But it's funny. People always say, you're funny. I'm like, I'm not trying to be, so you must just be laughing at me. All right, but and I have this book, right? So this is the lyrics to the song that I'm about to sing, but the book is actually like the annotated lyrics. So it's pretty cool. You should go check it out. Tell somebody about it. But all right, here goes the song. Check it out. It's like this. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Say rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Rise to the moment, rise to the occasion. Open your eyes, recognize there's greatness within your reach. You should seize it, you should take it. Can you see it? Can you taste destiny? Hard work in the plan, that's a recipe. For success to the launch, you where them blessings be. The road to riches, though, that's where them testers be. But I ain't tripping, you knowing how us Texans be. A lot of pride, plus a lot of confidence. And my job is to see what is not obvious. As a pioneer and an entrepreneur. So I'm gonna work it out till it's smoother than velour, for sure. I'm gonna make it to that finish line. I got my second win, and now it's finish time. It's like spinach time, and I am Popeye. Stop short? No, not I. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Say rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Hey, you got nothing to lose. What'll make you daily play like you got nothing to prove? Don't be fronting for fools, stay focused. You got something to do. So that's the top slot. What's the use of number 2? Hold your own like Neo when they come for you. You choose the rule to get chopped like lumber do. The comfort of slumber, keep the dumb ones under the roof. Those scared of thunder die, they habit hunger for food. You was birthed on this earth with a purpose and cause. It blow your mind to find there's more than simply serving the law. Every day that you wake, you involved in a war. Recall when you swore never get as worse as before. Better take what's yours or they'll take what's yours. From this day forward, be great, change your fate for sure. Let the hate elevate the rate at which you score. Time is ticking much quicker, you can't wait no more. Rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah. Say rise, rise, and open your eyes. Now is the time for you to shine, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, just a little bit about my organization. This summer is very, very cool. I just partnered with the UN Foundation, and we're about to go on this. I'm going on a big summer tour. I'll be playing like some major festivals like the Orange County Fair. You know what I'm saying? Orange County. I'll play the world's largest music festival in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Summerfest. And then I'll play like the Safeway Barbecue Battle in DC, as well as Music Fest in Philadelphia, this other festival in Minnesota, the Sunshine Festival, as well as the Cutting Edge Music Festival in New Orleans, right? So I get to be around I'll get to be in front of over 1 million people this summer. It's not even just like a normal little set, but I get to go, even being an ambassador for the city of Austin. I was just named an ambassador for the city of Austin. Actually, on June 12th in Austin, they're naming June 12th SaulPaul Day. So I'll be at the city hall. Like that's like a huge contrast right there, right? I'm trying to figure out. I get to make like one rule. I don't know what it is, but it'll probably be related to barbecue. I'm working on it. So very many cool things are happening. But I've been plotting and I've been thinking like, man, how can I use this platform of being able like all these platforms to be able to like leverage it to create some type of change. And my goal really is in the next year to touch 10 million people. Like I get to like see 1 million just this summer, but it's like also to incorporate social media into that, right? And just because like there's power in story. There's power in story. Like I tell my story and it touches people, but I'm not foolish. It's not just my story. I've been inspired by people, right? I remember when I was in prison and I would read books, people that I still have yet to meet. I would just read that book and it was like it changed my worldview. It made me different, right? I'll see a tweet and it'll change, right? I'll be in like a Google Hangout and somebody will say something and it's like, wow, I'm gonna steal that and tweet that. And it's powerful at what we can do. And so you should follow up with me, get with me at SaulPaul.com. Like that's my headquarters. If you go to SaulPaul.com, like you can find everything that I've mentioned, like the mobile gaming app, the book, the music, tour, calendar. No matter what it is, you can find it there. And I would love to connect because I know that you have greatness inside of you. And you might, if nothing else, you might be able to help mentor some of the youth that I'm exposed to. Because it's pretty crazy. I feel like the Pied Piper. I go do what I do, and then these kids are like, man, that's what's up. And they go to the website, and they're there, and it's this online community. But my goal is to connect them with other people. Because I can't do it all myself. I can't do it alone. I don't desire to. I get to meet the coolest people that do the greatest and coolest things, and they're like, they don't have an opportunity to pour into somebody else. So if you're looking for an opportunity to pour into somebody else, please get in contact with me because I can hook you up. I have like not enough mentors and too many kids. And it's not even deep. It's not even time. It can be like it's like online. You can just like connect with them. It's cool. We have this whole chat room and everything, and you just like wise words. Because I know it works, right? That's why I made it all the way to college. I never had life skills or any insight that anybody could give me, and that's why I made those poor choices. I recognize what I'm special at is because I didn't give up, I didn't quit, I didn't beat myself up. Instead, I was able to turn it around. But I want to help some other people. I want to help some young people before they make those mistakes. So I may or may not do another song, but I hate one-sided conversations. So y'all talk to me. Does anybody have anything to share, say, questions, karaoke? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'll speak to you after.
Yes,
Nicole runs our Google Serve events here, and I think she's got some good stuff in store for you.
Yeah, we could definitely partner up with you guys and donate our skills, and I'm sure we can get a couple mentors out of here. So yeah, I'll talk to you after.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it's very, very cool. It's funny, you're videotaping, so I have a different conversation when I don't want it to live forever on the web. But I give a contrast. I had a meeting at Nike earlier this year. It was very, very cool. There's an awesome guy there that supports the vision, and we're working on some very, very cool stuff. And it's crazy, right? Because like I was in Beaverton, Oregon at Nike. But when I was young, I used to do some very, very bad things just to get Nikes. So it's like this contrast blows my mind of like, wow. And I just see that contrast. Or like I use Johnson & Johnson baby oil so that I'm not ashy. But now I'm working with like Johnson & Johnson and being able to do some cool stuff. So my goal is like kids will ask me like, because I rap, they're like, what are the famous, like who do you know that's famous? I'm like, me. And then they're like, who do you collaborate with? And I tell them the artist or whatnot. But I'm more concerned with collaborating with like brands and companies because like I'm remember the same reason why I made Counterfeit Money. It's like I'm trying to figure out how to get the biggest bang for the effort. And it's like I realized like to be partner with cool people like y'all, and like they've already vetted you out. Y'all are the best of the best. So yeah, we'll love that help. Yes, ma'am, in the back. Oh, hold up 1 second. No worries. I'm gonna have to edit this, man.
How did you learn?
Having me looking crazy all like on Google, dude. Like, cause it's gonna be the first thing that pops up anytime I like, Google me, right? And it's gonna be like this. So you gotta edit it now.
How did you learn to play? Were you self-taught, and when did you learn to play?
That's a great question. I'm self-taught. I had a teacher. I'm a certified personal trainer. And when I used to train, right, like I don't train anymore. People can't afford me. But when I used to train, I was on campus, and I remember putting this sign up, and it was like, I just discovered this crazy concept called barter. And I was like, we'll barter. That's like when you trade stuff. I'm like, yeah, like I'll be your personal trainer. You teach me to play guitar or piano. Luckily, somebody answered it that played guitar, and they went and bought this guitar. Like we went to the guitar store, bought this guitar. At that point, I didn't have the discipline. Again, hindsight is 20/20, because I would only show up and like. So I can't give them any credit for teaching me because I didn't do my part. But later it clicked, and I fell in love with playing this guitar. And it's interesting because it made me I created my own lane. It wasn't on purpose to be different. It was just like I like rapping, but now I play the guitar. I want to do both, and so I put them together and kind of now do this acoustic hip hop thing. And so it's pretty awesome. And then I personalized it, putting that percussion style into it. Do you play? You want to play? No. Oh. Yeah. Anybody else?
Story is very inspiring, so I just want to know, what is your biggest and proudest moment? And I have another question. If you can tell us more about your collaboration with Johnson & Johnson, because I've seen some of their commercials that they made for the mothers, and I think those are some of the most touching stories and commercials, so I would be interested to know more about that.
Great question. My greatest accomplishment, I wouldn't know the answer for that one except recently. I built a mentorship program. Yeah, like that's the biggest deal because another thing, and you can't get credit for it, and I'll tell an artist, like people only know artists, there's like this huge void. Like you're either quote unquote an inspiring artist, starving artist, that's crazy to me. Or you're platinum, or 10 times platinum and you're rich, right? And it's like nobody knows the artist in between. So the fact that I can make a living, like this is what I do, this is my job, like that's amazing. But so that might be like the greatest accomplishment, like literally to be like, this is work. When you see me at work, I do nothing different. This is work. That's amazing to me. Because there's this big void in between of like, I just want to make a living. I don't want to be a starving artist, but I just want to make a living as a musician. I get to do that and write the songs that I want to write and touch the people I want to touch. But in the process, I discovered I had this platform. I see so many people. And so I went on a tour, and I came back to Austin. And when I came back to Austin, people were like, I partnered with a nonprofit, and I built a mentorship program. I was able to use my platform to recruit people, right? Because, like, artists are starving, but, like, they're probably more famous than most people. They get platforms to be in front of, like, more people. And so I just came up with this plan to say, like, well, what if I used my platform to recruit? And I ended up building a mentorship program for adjudicated youth that were like incarcerated already, 15 years old, 14 years old, 17 years old, and find mentors for them. And these kids are a little bit different, so you can't just, like, you don't get to like mentor them and go fishing on the weekend. Like, you might mentor them and like you go fishing for them on the weekend. But I found like the coolest people, and that like the relationships are still long lasting. So building that mentorship program was I probably say that's my greatest accomplishment. That's really what opened my eyes to consulting as well, like helping brands and companies with their corporate responsibility, because I personally recruited more mentors than 2 like multi-million-dollar nonprofits that had the same assignment. And it's just because my techniques were different and the platform was different. And so that's probably my greatest accomplishment. And what was the other question? The collaboration with Johnson & Johnson, I can't speak on it too much. If you, like, we can talk outside or whatever. But again, they're videotaping me. And I still have hood tendencies, so I don't like cameras and cops. So, no, but yeah, I'll tell you on the side. Other question? No, ma'am, go ahead.
So you work with tech, and I know that you're working with folks who are still in TDCJ, and you have that intersection. I don't know what it's like now, but you know how it used to be. Folks would go away, and then they come out, and when you're doing reentry, technology is so far beyond you.
I did not know what
www
was.
Yeah, it's so much, and it affects so much anti-recidivism and that kind of stuff. Do y'all work with, is it still like that, and do y'all work with kind of working with folks with reentry and kind of catching them up on tech stuff?
That is a great question. And you just spawned something with that question. Yeah, that's still an issue. That's still an issue. The question she's asking is like, like when you go to jail, like, and it was crazy because like technology is moving like, it's like even faster now. Like 10 years ago, it was crazy. I remember when I went to jail and got out, it was just like what are all these things they put on the commercials? Like at the bottom, like it was web addresses, right? And like, how do you send an email? And how do you do this? And how do you do that? And so, I don't know, you just made a great point. Like it does affect recidivism, because when you come out, it's kind of like being illiterate, except you're computer illiterate. And then that makes you just do less. And then the less you do, the further you fall behind. And then that kind of feeds back into like, well, I'll just go back to what I know because I can't even be on par. So it just spawned an idea though. But yeah, that'd be a great use of some tech-savvy people to update some people, and update even young people and adults as well, because it's probably even worse for the adults. Yeah.
With your mentorship program, like what cities, what all cities have you guys touched with your mentorship program?
Great question. Austin, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Newark, New Jersey, New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and I might be forgetting 1 or 2, but those would be the key ones. Not St. Louis. Not St. Louis. Should I have a connection there? They're waiting for me to come out, but I haven't been there yet. But I've done some stuff with NSBE, National Society for Black Engineers, and they're waiting for us to create something. Are you from St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis definitely needs you.
Yeah, we should talk. Yeah. It's easy. It's like when I made that song in the beginning, right? Like no matter what the words are, I'm able to take a song and make it. I don't know. I suck at basketball, but I can sing a song and I can impact a life. So that I feel like there's no bottleneck when it comes to that, especially since we have like a great system.
Quick question. What are you reading right now?
SaulPaul, Dreaming 3D. Real talk. They're like, what are you listening to right now? Like, I listen to me. That's a great question. What am I reading right now? What's the last book? I forget the name of it. I bought 3 books in I just came off tour. I've been on tour for the last 3 weeks, and I did not get to read while I was on tour, even though I was in a lot of airports. Because when I like to read, I like to read. I don't like to read a page and put it up. But I forget, but mainly I read business books now. That's a great question. A great book that I read is The Celestine Prophecy. Have you heard of that one? Anybody read that book? That's a very cool book. Celestine Prophecy. And I read the Bible a lot. Yeah, that's probably what I read the most outside of any other books. But yeah, I read a lot of business books. And it's cool, and not music business books because, I don't know, that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, business is business. So yeah, my goal is even, I didn't elaborate on it, but my goal is to touch 1 million people in the next year. 10 million people rather. Is because like in the music industry, they quantify everything by like sales, right? Like sales and downloads. That's cool. But I'm trying to, I'm grading mine by how many lives I touch. Yeah. And how to be scalable. That's why we can go to St. Louis like that. Other questions? Yes, ma'am. I forgot that one. Yeah, Houston. Okay. See? I like it. It's kind of like when you're balling. Yeah, when you're balling, it's funny because it's like, it's a big deal that I remember SaulPaul Day. I've done like, I don't know how many shows, and then I get off stage and my team, shout out to Team Reroute in the building. They'll be like, you didn't mention this. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Houston, yeah. Yeah, we're actually doing some very cool things in Houston. I was in Houston 2 days ago, and we're building a program. We're building up our most extensive mentorship program yet is in Houston, and that's starting this next school year. Yeah, I forgot that. That's crazy. And that's it. And that's it for time as well. I don't want to.
Well, thank you. So much, man. That was awesome. Thank you so much.